gonna click us on over so people can actually see us. So I can apologize for the lateness, you guys. It's been every curveball that possibly could have happened this morning, I think. Aside from maybe like the entire computer actually dying, but the camera died, computer died temporarily. Kato's sick. Seth is here. Hi, Seth.
I'm here. Hi.
Yes.
Hey, everybody.
Yes, vying for the new permanent spot is what it looks like.
I'll be the interim. I'll be the interim Kato. Look, any day of the week. I'll try to fill. I mean, when she comes back, she's gonna have a lot of sauciness quota to fill.
That's true.
Because, you know, I couldn't bring it last week. I'm not gonna be able to bring it this week. But you know.
Court in the chat, haircut. No, just a fresh shower and just kind of went okay today. So
I thought he was asking me. I thought he was asking.
I was thinking that too. Did you get a haircut, Seth?
No, you know what? Believe it or not, no haircut.
No haircut this time. When was the last time you got a haircut?
Oh my gosh. The last time I got like a real haircut was probably before our wedding, which is now almost 4 years ago. Yeah.
It's Kato's actually in the chat and says, "Look at I look so different." And what happened
you look
is
way different.
We took Kato's hair and put it on your face.
Right.
Just like we flipped Kato upside down and put her hair on your face.
Oh my gosh. Right. If I had some foresight, I would have grabbed some of my wife's squishmallows and just like
I should go steal some from my daughter. Just like she's probably sleeping. Just like give me those. Well, you know, like things are messed up because I actually have to sit for this podcast because my normal camera isn't working. The replacement camera that I have, I can't get it to fit in without getting under my desk and everything. So I have to sit and remember not to raise my desk. Otherwise, the USB cord won't be long enough and it'll rip everything apart. Argo says Kato never looks so good, Seth.
Oh man, that's very kind of you, Argo.
It's very nice. Yes, I got a rare blue screen of death this morning, man. It was like, all right, Seth, we're ready to go. I'm excited. And I don't know, did I just cut out or did I have like the awkward freeze? Like freeze face?
It was the freeze. It was freeze face. It was the whole shebang. I was like, dude, did my internet just crap out or something? Like, what's going on?
It was totally me. It was totally me. Well, we are going to talk a little bit about Splatoon, maybe a touch about Pokemans. We've got a couple topics from the chat, and we're gonna record a podcast and get on the heck out of here. Get everybody on their way. Chibi says, Sean, my dad had a random blue screen on his computer yesterday before it worked. So yeah, like what the heck is going on, man? Those damn drivers, you know, these PCs. Goodness gracious, yeah, I cannot wait for Kato to grow a beard. All right, where's the video? Okay, I think I've got everything in order here, Seth. Thanks for your kindness for this absolute.
Of course, man.
I mean, we're driving a garbage truck, apparently, and it's totally on fire. Alrighty then. 7 in the morning.
Me.
Hey everyone, it's me, Sean Capri. I'm glad you're here because you're listening to the most wholesome Nintendo podcast on the internet. It's the Nintendo Drive. I'm on a Skype call with my friend Seth Sturgill, the $2 hero, and on our journey today, we're looking forward to that Splatoon 3 Direct that's coming up this week, so jump on into the Nintendo Drive Ball! Here we go! Seth Sturgill from All In Podcast is here covering for a sick potato. How are you doing today, my friend?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back. Always a pleasure. Always happy. I am no console Kato, but I am happy to be back for the sweep. 2 times in a row. Always a pleasure to be on the Nintendo Drive, man.
Well, I appreciate you being here very last minute. Last time we did this, we chatted in the morning. We had like a lunch hour kind of recording. It's 7:30 in the morning for me, 9:30 in the morning for you, I believe.
8:30.
I'm sorry, you're central. You're central. Yeah. Yes, very.
Yeah, I'm central.
How are you? You were. I'm sorry if this is like too open, but you already went to the grocery store?
Yeah. So. Yeah, my morning was wild, Sean. So let me I woke up, took my wife to work, had to go to the grocery store because I'm a bad uncle. My nephew's birthday party is today, and we hadn't gotten his present yet. And so I was like, let me go run to the grocery store, get our groceries, get him something for his birthday. and then and then like kind of while I was out, I got the message from you. So it's like rush home, put the groceries up, and then just jump straight on here. So
you could have said no. You could have said like no. Like,
No,
I got some things going on. Well,
Please.
we are live at youtube.com/carpoolgaming, and you can be too. It's usually 7 in the morning ish, Mountain Time, 9-ish in the morning, Eastern Time, and the chat is all loving that you're here, Seth. Lachlan in the chat says Seth somehow knew this was coming. You were prepared. You were prepared.
That's right.
Well, we got lots of wonderful comments and feedback from you on the show last week. My only worry about having you and only you back this week is that Andros is going to take it personally. And I hope that's not the case.
No. He won't. Let's be real. He's either at work or asleep right now. So
I thought he's probably like editing a video still from last night. He's probably on some sort of like all-night bender or something. Just guy works so hard, man. What the heck? Those guys at Nintendo Pals. It was so great. Court Lalonde says, Seth, do you know how to play guitar? I don't know where that question comes from. Oh, did he see? Man. I should go get a good. We should have a little acoustic, just little playoff here. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's the next carpool gaming product that we will put out there, man. Holy crap!
I'm down. I have played guitar for like close to 20 years.
It was the beanie, I think.
Yeah.
Was it the headwear?
This beanie, by the way, and I think when I was on We the GamerCast, I was wearing this beanie as well. This is just I'm sweaty and I just ran in from the hot Louisiana outdoors. Throw this beanie on because my hair looks awful. That's what this beanie does.
I appreciate it. The chat is just going off. It's great to see you guys here. Just we'll take a quick moment to clean the garage. Remember, you can listen to the Nintendo Drive every single week on podcast services around the globe and right here, youtube.com/carpoolgaming. And if you really want to support the show in the best way possible, you can go to patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Just like our newest supporter, Captain Logan. You guys are crushing it, and there's a ton of amazing exclusive content. We've got a couple hours worth of sweet hangs over there. If you like Scott Pilgrim, Ryan Turford and I are doing a full spoiler cast on all the Scott Pilgrim books. The Yumi Capri podcast with me, Ryan, and Court Lalonde. We go a little behind the scenes, and on that one, Seth, I don't know if you've listened to it or not, but we try to figure out why Ryan Turford doesn't get angry and why I get so angry. And I'm not even sure why I'm telling people this, because now it's becoming part of my reputation, and I'm not sure why I'm propagating it. But in any case,
you're not an angry guy. I don't think you're an angry guy at all.
Well, I am apparently. So I'm just totally overreacting, Seth.
You're just hopped up on coffee and Diet Coke. That's all that is.
I haven't had a thing this morning. That's the whole thing about this. I haven't had coffee. I haven't even had water. I had a cold shower. Maybe that's the difference. Yeah. Sean is an angry elf. Oh my gosh. Mario Kart Rage, says Lachlan. Speaking of Mario Kart, why don't we pop in the playlist and let's talk about what you've been playing, my friend. Why don't we start with you, Mr. Seth? What have you been playing this week?
Just Xenoblade.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just more Xenoblade. I'm out, dude. It was so wild. My co-host on All In, Eric, we did this on our podcast last Friday. And I'm like, what you been playing? And he's like, Xenoblade. I'm 40 hours in.
Oh my God, that's a work week.
Dude, I'm like, are you kidding me? You're like, it's ridiculous. So I'm like 30 hours in at this point. I've still played a lot. Yeah. I thought I was playing a lot, but he just showed me up completely.
Dedication.
Yeah, it's great though. I mean, we talked about it quite a bit last week, but yeah, no, it's fantastic. I continue. It gets even better. Like it continues to get better and better the more I play. Especially as more like gameplay mechanics roll out. Mm-hmm. Like they just keep adding stuff to that game, dude. Like it just goes and goes and goes. And it's just like endlessly deep. The story, the characters are so engaging. It's like I can't turn that game on and not spend like 5 hours with it.
That's like, the thing.
You just get lost. Yeah.
I'm glad you're here talking about it. Kato in the chat saying boo Xenoblade. So maybe this is just as well that, Xenoblade comes out, Kato's gotta maybe sit on the pine for a couple of weeks.
I guess so.
Quagmire in Discord says, Sean and Seth, what chapter are you in Xenoblade 3? How are you enjoying your time? Kato, when are you starting your playthrough? I probably Not gonna happen. I just started chapter 4, 29 hours in, doing all side and hero quests. No spoilers, but even as a hardcore Xenoblade fan, I have no idea what's going on, so no worries. I always put Xenoblade in the same category as Christopher Nolan movies. I don't know what's going on for most of it. Then it hooks you, and then at the end, there's still so many questions, but the experience is awesome. I love that you're enjoying it, Quagmire, but does that click with you, Seth, the Christopher Nolan layers of
That is an interesting
storytelling
comparison. Yeah, I have never thought of that, but yeah, that's an interesting comparison. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of tracking. I'm kind of like picking up what it's putting down a little bit. It's a lot though. Like, and maybe that's similar to a Nolan movie. It's just so much. Like, there's just so much meat on the bone. It's kind of, you're working through it and you're unpacking the way you feel about it. And then also there's a lot of like little layers to like what is my emotional response to this?
Yeah.
There was a conversation going on in our Discord. We have a dedicated Xenoblade channel in our Discord, and we had this chat going on about the like swear words in the game, or they say like spark and snuff and stuff like that. And it created this interesting conversation of like, at first I thought that was weird, but if you start to unpack that a little bit, it's like, oh, well, these guys only live 10 years.
So they're kids?
So they're kids mentally, right? So they're not developing like the F word and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like they're kind of developing their own language. It's really weird, and like the more you pick it apart, the more heady it is. So I could see that comparison. That's a good comparison.
I love it. I am not 30 hours into this thing. I'm in chapter 3, but I'm trying to make like a conscious decision to just explore, because I find myself every time I start just running around, I'm creating my own trailer for only me. I'm not streaming this thing. I'm just like, I'm running around and I'm looking at the vistas and the landscapes. I'm propping the camera in that nice angle. Yeah, I'm running across. I'm like, look at me go across this landscape. It's so good. So I'm enjoying it from a visual standpoint and from an atmospheric kind of thing. Obviously the storytelling. And just exploration, like what a world. This sounds so cliche. I feel like so many podcasters say like, I like just being in this world, but like I kind of actually do in this one.
Yeah.
I was talking to you guys last week about how my dumb brain was understanding it. Well, I mean, I wasn't really all that far in. Thing is loading up. And so I think you guys were probably just being kind and polite. Like the thing is really loading up on RPG elements. Like as basically at this point, almost every hour that I play into it, it's like, here's some more and here's some more. And I was just, last time we chatted, I was just before things really started to open up as far as my party goes. And this is something I think I need to like buy a book and start to study up on how to handle all the party members and how to make sure, like I can figure it out to get by, but I've never excelled at Xenoblade games as far as you do this combo, or even like Dragon Age or other type of RPGs with party members and things. Like I want to know like how to combo things to the best of my abilities, and I haven't quite got there yet, and I'm starting to feel like I'm falling behind in class, Seth. I need to put in some extra hours.
Well,
I need a tutorial.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the game does a really good job, and really all of the Xenoblade games I feel like do a really good job of making that palatable though, because in other RPGs they would just like load all of that on you at once. You would be completely lost, just like, you know, thrown out to the wolves and just like be terrible at it. With this one, I feel like you could, you know, there's some advanced tactics of like, oh, I can cancel my auto attack into an art. If I have the proper setup, I could cancel my art into like a fusion art or a talent art. I have all these chains that I can set up optimally and stuff like that. But I feel like you could do pretty well without messing with that stuff. It'll be harder for you. And
I want to tackle like
have to ratchet it down.
I want to tackle enemies that are like a level or two higher than me without getting like, or a bunch of them without getting like, that's kind of my marker. If I'm like really gaming the system to the best of my ability, is like I can actually take enemies that I shouldn't be able to take on. So I don't know, maybe that's unreasonable, but that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, I don't feel like if I'm level like 20, I shouldn't be outgunned by level 22. Like that shouldn't be totally crazy kind of thing.
Yeah, it's tough though, because I'll be waltzing around. I'll be waltzing around and I'll see like this group of like, so right now to answer Quagmire's question, I'm in chapter 4 also. I'm level 39, I think, and I'll see a level like 41 enemy, 42 enemy, and it's like tough. Like I can do it, but it's, you know, it's not going to be a walk in the park, you know.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think who knows? Maybe we'll be back next week. We'll continue talking about Xenoblade. This game. I'm so glad to see so many people enjoying it. I saw a bunch of chart numbers. It seems to be selling exceptionally well.
Yeah.
So Xenoblade is the game until it's not, Seth. Until the Tetris 99 Maximus Cup hits. And I am telling you, dude, I am in every single day. I missed more of these cups than I thought, man. And I would be lying while I was waiting for, I had 5 minutes while you were unpacking groceries. So I went in and I played the WarioWare
sick
theme this morning. So I got that one. That's all good. I didn't realize they didn't have the Super Mario 3D World one as well. So I went in and got that one. So Tetris 99, I'm showing Lincoln too that Tetris. This is kind of a perfect game, my friend. So
it's a perfect game.
It really is. Yeah. So Tetris 99 is top of mind. And I don't know if you had a chance to play the new Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tracks, because we played a little bit on Saturday night here at Carpool Gaming.
I jumped in like very last
man.
minute. I didn't know y'all were doing it. I totally missed like the call out and the tweet. So I pop into the stream. You guys had already been going for like 2 hours, and I'm like, hey, can I pop in? And so I popped in and played like, I don't know, 2 or 3 races with y'all, and that was super fun. But yeah, we did our own kind of like community game night when they came out last Thursday, I think, and played with the Nintendo Pals community. And they're great, man. I love them. They're awesome.
It's funny, I think the same thing happened this time versus last time. Like, we're stoked that there's 2 cups, there's 8 tracks, but when you sit down for like a night of gaming, you run through those 8 tracks like really, really quickly. So, it seemed like we just sat down and then suddenly we were going to the last 8 new tracks. And then before we know it, we've got Ryan Turford having us play Cheeseland and all this nonsense. But I mean, it's if nothing else, it's nice to have an excuse to jump into one of the greatest games of all time. Like, that's really like where we have to stand on Mario Kart. It's one of the best games ever. Love the tracks. I know a lot of people have Wario Pinball at the top of their list. For some reason, it's the Super Nintendo ones that just continue to get me. I love the look of it. I love the music, of course. So yeah, Lachlan in the chat, Waluigi Pinball. Was there anyone that otherwise that stood out to you? Are you with the Waluigi Pinball train?
I mean, it's great to have Waluigi Pinball. I really like the way they remade Calamari Desert.
Oh yeah,
from 64. I thought that was awesome. Like the way that they kind of shifted your expectations on that. They basically made it a new track, really.
Totally.
I didn't expect that. But my favorite is actually, I think, just for the music alone, Sydney Sprint. Like,
oh, nice.
The music in that track is probably my single favorite piece of music in the entire game.
Yeah, man.
Like, it's so good. I'm like addicted to that song. I listen to it like daily. It's so good.
That's how you're always in such a good mood. It's such a good mood song. You can just turn your day around, man. That's awesome.
That saxophone, man.
Saxman goes hard in that song. Yes. I'm here for it. Well, I think, Seth, we're probably going to be playing that again this Saturday for Super Fun Saturdays with Sean Capri, youtube.com/carpoolgaming. So we usually start at about 10 p.m. Eastern, a little late for a lot of people, but that's 8 o'clock for me. Kids go to bed around that time. So
that's good to me. I can make that one.
There we go.
I was a little bit worried that it was going to be morning. I got to do the backtrackers that morning.
Nice.
That morning, but.
Dude, I'm a little embarrassed. I don't even know what game they're talking about this time. What game did you play?
I got to pick the game this week.
Oh, nice.
I got to pick the game this time. It's going to be Hypnospace Outlaw.
Oh, snap.
I love that game. That's like one of my all-time favorite indie games, so I'm super excited.
I love it. For the uninitiated, the Backtrackers is the Carpool Gaming video game book club. Totally community-driven. This is why I don't know anything about it, actually. The community runs it. Markus O'Neill and Delroy from the Discord, they organize everything, and the community rallies around a game. So if you're interested in something like that, the Discord link is in the show notes. Now, I'm slamming the brakes on this conversation, unless you played anything else, Seth? Play anything else?
No,
that's it for me.
Xenoblade.
I love it. We're slamming the brakes on this conversation. It's time for some breaking news. Nintendo has announced that Splatoon 3 will be getting a dedicated Nintendo Direct presentation on Wednesday, August 10th. Tune into youtube.com/carpoolgaming to watch it live with me. That's me. That's tomorrow. If you're here live with us today, 8:45 a.m. Eastern time. That's an early start for me, 6:45 here in the Mountain Time. I'm going to be watching it live. I'm acknowledging the fact that for audio listeners, for many of you, you'll be listening to this after the thing has gone live. So we get to do a little time travel, me and you, Seth. Because Chibi from Twitter at DestructEls says, what are you both hoping to see in this direct? Do you think after this direct, Splatoon will be advertised a bit more or remain the same with little snippets being tweeted out by the Splatoon of Japan account? What do you want to see? So we're talking about this the day before. Audio listeners probably have already seen it. So we get that instant gratification. Are we right? Are we totally wrong? But we're doing it anyway, Seth. We in the present don't know what's going to happen. What do you think's going to happen here, man?
Well, the big thing I think is global test fire. I think that's probably very soon. If in fact, it wouldn't shock me if they were like, it's happening this weekend. Yeah. That wouldn't shock me one bit. But in terms of like the content from the game, I don't know. Like maybe I'm just weird or something. But like I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of discourse online. People being like, oh, we've seen nothing about Splatoon. I need to see this. I'm like, I kind of don't. Like I was kind of already sold just because it's Splatoon 3.
Look at this.
So I don't know that I really needed to see anything. I'm curious about things like the story. I'm curious about like some of the multiplayer centric details. I definitely want to see more of like little tiny things. Like I hope they iron out some of the weird jank with the multiplayer. Even in Splatoon 2, I thought it was super weird that like it wasn't just like seamless how it is in other multiplayer games to group up, play online. I kind of wish and I'm hoping that they iron a lot of that out with Splatoon 2. Yeah, Chibi here in the chat is talking about amiibos. I'm kind of hoping for some amiibo myself for Splatoon 3. I'm hoping. I got my fingers crossed. I'm a big amiibo guy, so I'm hoping for some amiibo. So we'll see.
The amiibo they've always kind of, at first I'm like, but then I end up getting them and they're amazing in person, especially like the squid kind of like popping out. Like, I don't know what they do with the paint or like just the texture of it. They look, and the colors, I mean, I'm not sold on the colors they're using for this iteration of Splatoon, the blue and the yellow. So we will see about that. I'm glad that you are here with your optimism to balance me out, because I'm going to be watching this with a monocle on, I think, Seth. I'm going to be like, I'm going to have like my magnifying glass on here because I have lots of questions, Splatoon 3. And some of them relate to what you brought up, but I'm like, I need to see it in crazy detail. I want to see loadouts. I don't want to have to back out of a game and then change this thing and like do it individually with my hat and my shirt and my gun and whatever. I want to have like, this is my close range loadout. This is my far range loadout. This is my whatever for various situations. This is something that is in every shooter. It's got to be there because I want to be encouraged to try different weapons, but I'm not. To be honest with you, like just the way it's such a pain in the butt to do this, I don't really do anything. They fixed the loadouts in Splatoon 2, says Chibi. We'll see if it carries over. And I don't know if loadouts in the same way that I'm thinking, Chibi as well.
Well, yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool. I mean, Splatoon, I've always wished with Splatoon that the carrot on a stick, like the upgrade kind of path and like the kind of leveling up path was a little bit more addicting, I guess. Like I really want, because really you're just trying to make your ultimate like build or whatever, getting your urchins or whatever from the Splatfests and like getting your gear set up exactly how you want it. But I think it'd be really cool if like the reason Call of Duty is so successful is like you're constantly upgrading like your guns and stuff like that. And I don't know, like I kind of would like to see Splatoon really put that carrot on a stick and keep me engaged beyond just that core gameplay loop, because the core gameplay loop is amazing and really fun.
Don't get me wrong.
You know?
Yeah. But that's why I'm excited. Like at my core, I'm excited for Splatoon 3. Like I'm just like you. Very, very likely day one. But I do want to be looking for some of these things, having a nice conversation with Chibi in the chat. You are able to change out your weapons like individually. But what I'm saying is I don't think that you have like a set, like in Call of Duty or Halo, for example. Like you can go like, here's my shotgun loadout. And it's like your primary, secondary weapon. Like it's all kind of like preset. And it's just it's really a one button click. What I think you can do in Splatoon 3 is you can go in and go like, I'm going to go flip through a whole bunch of weapons and choose this one. Like, I don't want to flip through a whole bunch of weapons. I just want it like predetermined.
Save it.
Yeah, it's basically a preset of a bunch of different things. So different perks for my for my clothes and accessories and equipment and things like that is one of the things that I'm looking for. The just party system in general has to function so much better.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want to get kicked out of anything. I don't want, like, it's just there's things that work in some places that don't work in others. Like, sometimes you can party up as a bunch of 4 people, but other times it's like, well, if there's room in this random match that I'm going to jump in, then hopefully somebody drops out for you to join in. Like, as a streamer, and I think you're the same, like, it's hard to have community nights like this.
Yes.
So I want to see a little bit of change there,
agree.
man.
I definitely want to see like the just that entire thing smoothed out more and just give me more options to play with friends. Cause it's like, I'm going to hop into this random game. I'm searching now, get in here quick so you can get put in with me. It's like, that's not okay. Like, just let me make like a little private lobby.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like just do it the way everybody else is doing it. I know you're Nintendo, you want to be unique and whatnot, but like, just let me do it the way everybody else is doing it. That would be way better. But I think for me too, like, and the reason I guess I was just kind of sold from the jump is like, I just love the world. Like, I just love the world of Splatoon and like the characters and like the vibes of it, that I'm kind of just happy to get back into that. I feel like it's been long enough. It's been like 5 years already since Splatoon 2. So I'm like, man, I'm really kind of hoping and looking forward to like just diving back into that world and getting to like listen to some of that music again and, play around with these characters again. And I don't know, I just really like Splatoon's vibes.
So what about it though? Like, cause this was a big topic. People probably don't even remember. It's been a long time since Splatoon 2 came out. And for anybody who came over from Splatoon 1 with the Wii U, we got the second one, and there was a lot of conversation of, is this more like a Splatoon 1.5? Like, what's really, it got really existential. Like, what is a sequel? Like,
right.
like, so I don't.
It's so weird how it turns out that way.
I know. Like, and yeah, there's so many different weird comparisons. It's hard to really like go like, well, what's the difference between this Call of Duty and that Call of Duty? It's like, well, maybe you have a point. Maybe I don't know. It's difficult. So it seems like you're just kind of like excited that there's a new one. We're going to buy it. It's going to bring everybody back. But I feel like there's maybe a little bit of scrutiny surrounding Splatoon this time. Like they kind of got a pass just getting the heck away from the Wii U and bringing a new Splatoon game to a system that people actually like. Now, like, to me, where I'm coming from is like, now's the time to go, okay, let's bring this to the new millennium kind of thing. Let's actually load this thing up with features that make it really easy to play with friends. Like the notion of sometimes on, sometimes off salmon run, which looks like a ton of fun, is just kind of a pain in the butt. So I just feel like there's a lot of barriers. Everywhere I turn, it's like, you can't do that. Oh, I want to do this. You can't quite do that. So I want that to be just generally quite a lot smoother. And then I'm sold. And that's the magnifying glass that I'm bringing to the table.
Well, yeah, it's going to be like a 30-minute presentation.
Yeah.
So that's long.
On one game.
Yeah, that's long. That is a long presentation. So I think they've got a lot to say about Splatoon 3. And I kind of hope too. I really enjoyed, I have enjoyed the single player of both games as well. Especially Octo expansion for Splatoon 2, I thought was amazing. And they really have just like really kind of figured out what single player looks like for Splatoon. Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping we get a look at that too. Yeah. And I agree. The stuff that you're saying, like, I want to see more options for multiplayer. Just like give me more ways to play with people. And like, I'm a happy camper. Like, that's really all it takes for me. I'm just looking forward to getting back in there.
I really enjoy this with you because it's just like, just give me Splatoon and I will buy it. Like, this is me. This is me being soured by a couple of Nintendo Sports, Switch Sports, and Strikers, and a few of these things. So a little of the bitterness is kind of carrying over here a little bit. This is totally out of left field. Nobody's suggesting that this is going to be a thing. It's not like I don't even know if anybody else is asking for this, but I would like different options as far as like the teams go. Is it 2 teams of 4? Is there a possibility of playing like 2v2? Can I 1v1 you, bro? Can I 3v3? Like, that's like, I would love to have 3 teams going at. I think that things could really be shaken up quite a lot. Like, we get into these molds of Nintendo games. It's like, yeah, as long as it's like in this. But we've had games like, I want something transformational. Like my expectations are ridiculously high on this. But like I remember the days when we went from Warcraft 2 to StarCraft, and it went from like humans and orcs to 3 totally different races, and it was just insane. Like it took it to the next level. And I would love to see Splatoon or Nintendo just in general like try to show me something I haven't seen before. Everything this year I've seen before. Kirby is like maybe an exception. Like still Kirby, but kind of 3D. Like I'm kind of waiting to be blown away. I don't know, something amazing. Like
I guess, yeah. I hear you. I'm the same way. I find myself looking for that more with video games in general. I just wanna see what I haven't seen before. Yeah, I agree with you. I would like to see. I would definitely like to see them like the most exciting stuff that I hope is in Splatoon 3 is the stuff that you and I are not going to be able to predict.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, exactly.
So
it's
that's
30 minutes. Like, what are they gonna? I mean,
it's a long time.
This is the thing, and I've now said it. I am streaming it, but like, goodness gracious, if it's like, and this gun does this, and then this gun does, it's like, oh my god, shoot me in the face. Is there anything else? Why don't we jump over to TPR's topic from Discord? You guys can jump in the Discord and chat with us. We're having a ton of fun over there. TPR says, what Splatfest teams would you want to see in Splatoon 3? I think crossovers with other Nintendo franchises would be fantastic, like Scarlet versus Violet, Mario versus Luigi, and so on and so forth. Like, Splatfest are the lifeblood, I feel, of the multiplayer. Yeah. This is the thing that we get to talk about every once in a while, and it's very similar to my ridiculous and maybe misplaced excitement about Tetris 99. It's like, it's the same game, but like, this thing's happening, and there's this identifiable thing. It brings us back in. And so even to buy another quick second to think about a pairing that you'd want to see, I would want that to almost be like part of the roadmap. I'm a little, I don't love with Mario Kart that like, I have no idea when the next like set of tracks are coming out. I have no clue. We're kind of guessing, and we're really looking at like scheduling of when the next games are coming, and they'll probably throw it in somewhere slightly in between. Like that's as good at guessing as we can get. I kind of want to see a roadmap with Splatoon. I'm a little bit, and this is me just being salty with Nintendo these days. I'm tired of buying a game day one and guessing what's going to be coming, especially for something like this that requires a bit of a roadmap. So,
yeah. I kind of would like it if and maybe this would be an easy way to get around that. If Splatoon, and they did this a little bit with Splatoon 2, you would see like when Halloween would come around, they would put out some like costumes that you could wear and stuff like that. But if they really doubled down on like holiday events, if they really doubled down on that the way that like Animal Crossing does.
Christmas versus Hanukkah. I see what you're saying, Seth.
Hey, yeah, let's do a Christmas versus Hanukkah. No, but if they did, and they usually do holiday themed Splatfests. But if they really like, make the plaza like all decorated out, have like everybody in their costumes and stuff like that, make like a unique event where you're having to, for Salmon Run, you're collecting like, candy or something like that versus the eggs or whatever, like some junk like that, it'd be pretty cool. And that would be a way to kind of keep a little bit of like, even if I don't know exactly what's going to happen, even if I don't know exactly when the next Splatfest, at least I know there will be a holiday event.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. I mean, that seems to be kind of like you can at least count on that. I loved, as they were starting to phase out Splatfest with Splatoon 2, back on an old episode of If We Ran Nintendo with Bobby Pauls, we talked about creating our own Splatfest. And then they did it. Like, you can actually create your own. And I'm wondering if that's something that they do right out of the gates, like just not waiting until they're done with their own Splatfest. Like, I wonder if that's just something that is an option right from the start for you to create your own, because goodness gracious, like we argue about everything in Discord, like and I think this actually has been a Splatfest, like smooth or crunchy peanut butter, these kind of things, but certainly we would go like love for Jar Jar, no love for Jar Jar, those types of things.
Of course.
Sweet num nums for Bad Bit or not,
Well, it'd be cool too if you could do kind of like, and this is something that I was kind of hoping would be expanded upon in Mario Strikers. and unfortunately it kind of wasn't. But if you could get like groups together, if you could make like a sort of clan or something like that in Splatoon, and do like, you know, if like the All N crew could take on the Carpool Gaming crew or whatever, like that'd be awesome.
Oh my gosh, like tournaments just in general, like these are, the funny thing is some of the games that nobody really talks about or pays attention to, I'm thinking about like Knockout City is excellent. The competitive nature, and it's just fun, and it very much actually reminds me about a Splatoon, even though it's a dodgeball kind of game. Something like that to engage. You're right. I was totally missing that from Strikers. Like, I want to have my crew go up against your crew. I was actually thinking about it more in like a World Cup kind of style, where you'd have like Canada versus the US versus like, bring on Germany. Get Delroy and Drellish on in here. Let's, you know, we got people from all over the world. And I think that would be kind of interesting as well. It's more of a tournament bracket kind of thing versus a weekend one-on-one. But yeah, man, like, let's bring in brands. Diet Pepsi versus Diet Coke. You know what I mean? Obviously, Diet Pepsi. Let's go.
Diet Pepsi is better than Diet Coke.
Yes, my kid. Yes.
Yeah, Diet Pepsi is probably, other than like Diet A&W. Diet A&W is probably my favorite.
Root beer.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, that'd be sick. I would just, more options. Just like more, that's always what I want from these multiplayer experiences is just more options. To your point about Mario Kart, like that game is like pretty much the ultimate realization about Mario Kart. And like when Mario Kart 9, whenever that comes out in like, 2025 or something, whenever that game finally comes out, literally it could control exactly the same and just give me more options.
Yes.
And I would be happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, that is a tough one. Mario Kart is the one that I do have, like, at least off the top of my head, I have a hard time going, what do I want from Mario Kart 9? Like, what else is there? And I'm sure there's something when we play it, it's like, I could have this, I could have this. But yeah, it's like, this is the thing about the Switch. I think this, like, the same could be said about Smash. Like, it's got everybody. Like, where are they supposed to go?
Where do you go from here?
What do you what package do they put together next that you will actually buy and not just go like, I'll just go buy the last one? That seems way better. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm hoping for a test fire. I think that's that I would just be elated if it was starting today. And they're more than an hour long. These are both not going to happen. It's absolutely not going to happen. They're going to be an hour. They're going to be at 4 a.m. for many of us. Like, it's going to be a mess. But
well, they do that because I understand they do that because they want to test server load. They want to have the most people in there at one time
for sure
as possible. I get it, but it is frustrating. And hopefully they do it for a longer period of time and it's not just like over like a weekend.
Yeah.
But it's got to be soon, dude, because the game, I mean, at the time we're recording this, it's now a month away exactly. So like they've got to, that test fire's got to be pretty close.
I don't know if I asked you, are you getting the Splatoon OLED Switch?
I'm not. Eric is.
Nice.
Eric, my co-host Eric is. He is still on his launch day Switch. I actually have an OLED. I got an OLED when it came out, and I love it. But he has not upgraded. But he like loves that thing.
Oh wow.
He like adores the way that looks.
Yeah.
So
well, I think Kato too. I think Kato's getting it on day one. I think she already, if I'm not mistaken, I think Kato pre-ordered the Splatoon 3 OLED. I'm just kidding. She hates that thing. She absolutely is not. I'm just seeing if she's still in the chat, actually.
I was thinking that in my head. I was like, did I misremember? I thought I was with you guys live watching when you guys were talking about that.
Yeah, no, I think it makes her, I think it may have been the thing that made her sick today, actually.
Thinking about that OLED.
Kato, no, GB says. Oh my goodness gracious. Do you have I will not get it, Argo. I've got I would if it was a light. I was notified by Ryan Turford. I don't know if you're a smart guy, Seth. I didn't realize this. When you buy a physical game, you pop in the cartridge and you can get like My Nintendo points out of it.
Right.
You can redeem that. Yeah, you're like, right. This was a revelation to me just a day or two ago. This was a revelation that that you can just pop it in, you get like 80 coins out of this thing. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
So Ryan Turford told me this on Saturday. So I busted out my Switch Lite and I was just popping in all the games. It worked all the way back to Triangle Strategy and all these other things. So I'm all.
I think there is like a statute of limitations on it. I think like if it's
somewhere,
so long, they don't do it anymore. But
Yeah, Smash didn't work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That seemed to be the cutoff. Yeah.
Get free money sitting on the table.
Do you have time for a couple questions, my friend? We can jump on into the carpool. All right. Ngachacha from Discord jumps in and he says, what is your favorite Nintendo game of 2022 and why is it Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
It's going to be tough, man. If it sticks the landing, like if it stays this, I was just talking to Eric last night about this. So Yasunori Mitsuda is my favorite composer of all time. And I would have told you before this game came out, I would have told you that his soundtrack to Chrono Trigger is the best soundtrack ever composed.
Yes.
And I'm playing this and I'm like, I think pound for pound, I think this might be a better soundtrack.
That's crazy.
Than Chrono Trigger.
That's crazy.
And like that's wild for me to consider because nothing has really even come close. And so like if it is this consistently good over the entire 150 hours I'm sure I'm going to spend on this thing, like yeah, I mean it would be pretty.
Oh wow, you're saying big statements here, man. Chrono Trigger is top tier. It is S tier soundtrack.
Yeah, no, like I said, I have not heard a bad track in this game.
Yeah,
like literally, there's not been a single, just pound for pound, there's not been any track that has been less than fantastic. Like he is at the top of his craft, and I love the focus on music in this one in particular. The way that you got the flutes for the off-sing and stuff like that. Like it is a phenomenal soundtrack. That alone might make it my favorite game of the year so far.
Yeah.
In terms of Nintendo anyway, and Nintendo exclusives. So I'm like, it's going to be hard for anything to top Neon White for me personally.
Wow.
I love Neon White. That game. You ever play a game that you're just like, this was like made for me? You know, like Neon White was made for me.
Wow.
Like specifically Seth Sturgill, like Neon White was made for me. So it's gonna be hard for anything to top Neon White, but Xenoblade might do it. Like if it stays that consistently good the entire way through, it might do it.
You've had a good year, man. Look at the smile on your face the whole time. Like it's been a good year of Nintendo for you.
Yeah, and Kirby, like
Kirby was very good. Kirby was very surprising. I was actually looking at my playtime and I'm like, I was with that game for quite some time and kept surprising me as well. That's a close second. I think more of I don't want to take anything away from Xenoblade Chronicles 3 because it is amazing and I am loving my time with it. But I feel more like it's the top game almost by default. Like I just don't know that Strikers is there, like Switch Sports is there. What else did we get to this year? Like there's just I don't know. I don't look at 2022 so far as like this was like I'm really happy with all the money that I spent on Nintendo this year. Arceus is up there, definitely Arceus, and Triangle Strategy is beautiful. I just didn't get to spend enough time with it. But I've got it there. I've got to get back to Triangle Strategy, man.
I just got to play Neon White. It sounds like you just need to play Neon White.
So just like that's a game that's designed for you, just right past me, man. Like it's just like I just step aside. Like it is probably not. Although you know what, I'm just being a little crunchy this morning. I guess I don't like saying a game isn't for me. I don't know. I haven't played it, and there's so many people saying that it's great. Maybe I should give it a shot.
Maybe give it a shot because you know what, there are people in our Discord that have said exactly that. Because Neon White has become so competitive in our community. Like, there's a couple of people in our Discord. We're just like trading world records back and forth.
That's awesome.
And like it has gotten intense, and it's actually killing me. There's a shout out to Shy Guy City, one of our community members, who has been topping some of my times, and I haven't had the chance to get back in there and beat him yet. But anyway, we've been trading him back and forth. Like the game came out in June, we're still playing it. You
That's
know what
awesome.
I mean?
Yeah.
And there are people in our community who like, I do not normally care about games like this, but there's something about Neon White that makes it like this idea of like speed running so accessible, and it just feels so good. It's like rock solid 60 frames. It is just like a great shooter. Like if nothing else, it's just a great shooter.
Freaking Seth, man. Hashtag
nothing
influencer.
of like, oh my gosh, like, and to say nothing of like the game has this like really specific vibe to it. It is like 2 a.m. Adult Swim Saturday night anime, like 2002, vibe, and like it is a very specific vibe that game
Does it
taps
have a
into.
demo? I've got my Switch right here because I was playing Tetris 99 just before that. So
I don't know if it has a
great.
demo or not.
I gotta
It
check
should.
this out.
That'd be
There's not enough time, and I say that I'm not completely blown away by all the games this year, but goes to show how little time that many of us have to play, and really, like, how many do we need? I don't need dozens of games a year, really, to say that a year is really great. So I want to walk that back a little bit.
Well, and to your point, I think that another big reason that Neon White has stuck out so much to me this year is it is unique. Like, that game is different from anything else, and it is showing me things I haven't seen before. I mentioned Hypnospace Outlaw earlier. That's another game where it's like there is not another game on this planet that is like Hypnospace Outlaw. So I do find myself kind of in that mode with video games lately, especially on Switch.
I did not realize that this was not a full price. This is 32 Canadian dollars, probably $25 US.
I think
would
so.
imagine
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
Intrigued. I don't know, man. I got 100 hours of Xenoblade to play, and I got Splatoon coming down the lane.
Gosh.
So it's on the wish list.
I would love to hear your thoughts on that, dude. I would love to hear your thoughts on that if it goes on sale.
On Neon White?
Yeah.
Yeah? No?
Yeah.
Who knows? Man. There's so many things. I want to get around to everything. I'm so distracted, it's not even funny. Play Markus said Sean will buy it. Yeah, well, who knows? That's the thing with me. I go from going like, that game is absolutely not for me. I'll probably buy it. I'll probably end up playing it, at least for a couple hours. The Muffin Mon,
if nothing else.
The Muffin Mon comes on in from Discord, just like you can, and he says, "Did you resell your copy of Mario Strikers yet to try and ease the pain, Sean? I got $35 for mine, but feel bad for inflicting that level of disappointment upon another person, even at a cut rate price. Hashtag Nintendo lied, Strikers died." Wow, that's
man.
That is dark. I have not sold my or traded it in or anything. It's still here. Really a lot because Brendan Myers is still out there playing games for the carpool gaming community and or House of Mario. And I still have some weird hope. And at its base game, it's fun. Like at the very like ground level, it's still Strikers, and so I'm happy with that. So when I play it, then it's good. And my kids are growing up every day, obviously. So maybe one day we just go, Lincoln, what do you think of this game? Like, we don't always have to be playing the latest and greatest. And I do think my disappointment just surrounds a lot in the multiplayer. So if I can play games with my kids sometime, then it's a bit of a different story. And also, I don't want to trade anything. I'm done with GameStop, you guys. You guys know this. I'm not dealing with that place anymore.
Yeah, for me with Strikers, literally all I wanted, it goes back to what we were saying with Splatoon. I just wanted more multiplayer options. Like, the fact that you can't do a proper 4v4 with your friends online is wild. It's wild. Makes zero sense.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I literally don't understand that design decision. If Splatoon can do it, why can't Mario Strikers do it? I don't get it. And then, like, on top of that, the fact that I was really kind of hoping that the Strikers clubs would have a lot more versatility versus just it being like, oh, hey, we're going to play a bunch of Mario Strikers and we're going to, like, through sheer attrition, rise through the ranks or whatever just because we're playing a bunch of this.
Right.
I just want more. I just want more options for multiplayer. I don't care about the single player. I don't need a single player with it. I don't care about any of that. If I could simply play that game with my friends and put it in the rotation of Mario Kart and Switch Sports and stuff like that, if I could put it in that community game night rotation, that would be good enough for me. But I can't.
I actually would like a single player something with that. Like, it's amazing how separate the conversations are in Nintendo Land versus like anything else. Like, Call of Duty drops single player, it's this whole thing. Nintendo like launches this thing. It doesn't. I mean, it has it just to check off the box, but like it doesn't really. You play a bunch of different cups and you get a bunch of coins at the end to unlock gear that doesn't really matter or isn't engaging to really. Yeah, like it's. Yeah. I mean, you have to have something. I would say you have to choose one of those things, but it's not very strategic. Again, loadouts, it doesn't really seem to matter. So I have a lot of distaste still from that game, and it does hurt because it's one of my favorite franchises. It seems like an underdog in so many ways, Seth, and maybe it was just treated in that way. But it's like this game, it felt like a hidden gem. Even though it's Mario, when I played it on Wii, it felt like nobody's playing this game. And I'm so lucky. I feel so lucky that we have found this one. We're having so much fun with it. Now everybody can play because everybody in the world has a Switch, and it is not very good.
And you know what's interesting is like, it's just not for us. Like, it's just not speaking to us.
Yeah.
Because it's like the fastest selling Mario sports game in history. Like, and all these games, by the way, from Mario Tennis Aces to Mario Golf Super Rush to now Mario Strikers, like the core gameplay of all of those games is really, really strong.
Yeah.
Maybe the best in the series. And like, it's just the way they're drip feeding like content. It's the way that they're, you know, kind of scaling back multiplayer options that isn't speaking to us, but it's clearly speaking to somebody, man.
It's the world's game, man. It's funny because it makes me look back to Mario Aces, the tennis game, and like when I look at the single player to that, I'm like, that's awesome. Like compared to this, and I don't know, and I don't know that anybody was ever saying that the single player experience in Aces was great. But like now, I'm like, yes, give me that. Like, give me that weird, like a weird scenario here. There, like I'm fighting like a piranha plant for some strange reason. Like it was really interesting, and I kind of liked it as well. Man, we covered the whole gamut, Seth. Before we close things out, my friend, do you have any closing thoughts? And if not, do you want to let everybody know where they can find you on the internet, my friend?
Yeah, no, sure. I would encourage anybody who, let me just say this just to plug the carpool gaming community.
No!
Anybody who, well, I just want to say, because I really do, I just want to say, I love the backtrackers.
Yeah.
Like, that has become so important to me. Like, it is so awesome to have this community-driven thing that it's not for any sort of podcast. You know how often I get to talk about games not on a podcast? Never.
Yep.
Like, and like, it's really kind of weirdly freeing because you really are just hanging out and talking with friends, and just the way that everybody can show up and is not afraid to be emotional and not afraid to be just raw and real about their feelings on games is like, that has been so important to me, man. It's like little therapy sessions.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome. I love the backtrackers. So anyway, if you guys want to play Hypnospace Outlaw, you can fit that in before this Saturday. I promise you. You can fit, it's not a long game. You could fit it in before this Saturday and join us. I believe it's at 11 a.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken.
Nailed it.
And so anyway, I wanted to shout that out. But in terms of where you can find me, I'm at $2 Hero on Twitter. My podcast, All In Nintendo Podcast, at All In Podcast on all the social media stuff. And that's pretty much it. But backtrackers, man, I love the backtrackers.
You're too kind, man. It is, you're right. And it's funny when Markus and we were going for a run one day, and I was chatting with him where he really enjoyed talking about games. And I asked him, like, what's it like to play a video game and not create content like that, but to still want to talk about it. And so that was really at the heart of the backtrackers originally, was creating the space for people to be able to do that. And it is, even though like we'd like to think that we're being very open and whatever on podcasts, like it is different. And maybe it's just because you're not it's a different cadence. I think Markus and Delroy do a wonderful job of like prompting you to think about different elements about every game. So yeah, shout out to the freaking backtrackers, man. People should join in.
So good. It is so special. I'm dead serious. It is
so
special. I joined in the first time was when we did Night in the Woods a few months back. And I just, because that game is so special to me, and I was like, this was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it was genuinely amazing. And like Delroy and I have become like really close friends. Like after that, we talk like all the time.
He's nice.
And,
he's a nice boy. I love that.
He's a great dude. And like we chat with Markus and you shout out Drellish and Ngachacha. Like, these are genuinely great people.
Yeah, man.
And like I get to pop in there once a month and just like hang out with them. And I love it. It's sick. Like I love the backtrackers, dude.
Amazing. Well, thank you again, Seth, for coming and heeding the call and jumping on in at the very last minute. I've had a great time chatting with you. I'm looking forward to watching the Splatoon 3 Direct tomorrow with you, everybody here, youtube.com/carpoolgaming at 8:45 a.m. Eastern time. We'll see if we're going to be satiated or completely disappointed. Obviously, those are the only two options. You can find me on Twitter at Sean Capri, Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. You can support the show by subscribing here at youtube.com/carpoolgaming or going and choosing a tier that works for you at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. That is all for episode, what the heck is this? 66. And thank you so much for listening to us. And until next time, send even more kind-hearted well wishes to our sweetest potato, Miss Cato Potato, Consul Cato.
Yes.
Okay, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everybody.
Where's my button?
Irme!